Blessings would drown the rod wave. My demons wanna be Lincoln. That tough shit cosplay. Bury the beef and butcher beast. Makina Conway. Really our west side. Really my left side is right hand man. Yeah, my two girls bring out my best side. Put the human man. Kind of man all in for mankind. Type of man. Terraform the land. If I see
take a sip of my cup. BeingLazy.com. Get all your merch.
Go get you some.
Ambassador to natural disasters. Corrupt the rapture. The cap your caption. Lock it down. Marvin Sapp and the taxes came mixed with the last. Shine drive Goliath blind. Archetype of a star.
Peoples, all right, peoples, we back with another one. The ODD, POD, some ARC. Yeah, you know what it is. Too much spelling for Damo, but we gonna keep it moving. You see this pimple on my nose, bro? It's irritating me. Anyways, back to it, baby. We back to it for another one. I guess it's the oddest one left. So shout out to Rashad celebrating his dad's birthday and stuff. Shout out to Mr. Hunter. Shout out to the whole Hunter family. That's blessings, man. That's blessings. So appreciative for you creating young shit. Appreciative for a lot, man. So that one's for you, whether you drink or not. But it's Sunday, the way through the afternoon, first wave of NFL games. Been very interesting. I don't know if we want to start there. We might as well start there, right? NFL. So this was like literally 20 minutes ago. I'm watching the Cleveland Browns. I'm watching them come back. They were down 10-0 in the fourth quarter, making their way back and blocked a field goal, then walked off with a game-winning field goal. So shout out to the Cleveland Browns, man. You know, AFC North rivals, of course. We don't like them that much, but it's always a tricky game going up to Cleveland. It always is. I think people are so used in their head of saying this is Cleveland, this is the Browns, we're going to go up there and torch them. That's a tricky team with a really good defense, man. And that defense kept them in the game until the offense could get kickstarted enough, all the way to the fourth quarter. So shout out to them. Shout out to that last second field goal. Shout out to the dog pound, man. Shout out to the Lambs. Then 5 minutes later, so I turned that game off and turned it to Philadelphia Eagles game, who also were down most of the game. Jalen Hurts engineering the drive back. Then you have Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua just going crazy on the drive back down to score towards the end and setting up a game-winning field goal, down by one. Big boy, Jordan Davis, is that his name? Comes through. Just ate that ball, boy. Pause. But came through straight up through the middle. Not the same way Cleveland Browns did it. They did it around the edge when dude blocked it and his teammate, for some reason, couldn't pick it up and run with it. So they set him up for a field goal, which Joe Flacco orchestrated well enough still at this age. I mean, that's why he's still in the league. I mean, a lot of people don't like Joe Flacco. It's been 8 years since Lamar Jackson's taken this position. You know what I'm saying? But he's still getting it done. It's like, I compare it to like old rappers. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing Busta Rhymes still having success. I'm seeing DJ Premier. I'm seeing, I don't know, man, Erykah Badu. Like, you can't beat the people who've perfected their craft. Like, it's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what age they at, they can still get it done in the ways in which, you know, they still have opportunities. So same way with Joe Flacco. Respect the OGs, man. But anyways, back to the Philadelphia game. Jordan Davis comes through, blocks it straight through the middle. Big boy picks it up and takes it to the crib. Sealing the win for Philadelphia. Major comeback. I think they were down like 15 or 16 points. Jalen Hurts is not my fantasy quarterback, but in one league I have A.J. Brown, one league I have Devontae Smith. Excuse me. No, honestly, I'm pissed at the man. Selfish. Throw the ball more. You know what I'm saying? But in seriousness, he got it done when it counted. So people say he can't throw the ball. Well, he can throw it when it counts. So shout out to the Fly Eagle Fly crew and the Philly crew. And then after that, I switch over 5 minutes after that to the Buccaneers-Jets game. The Jets engineered the way all the way back, block Buccaneers field goal to go up 1 with 2 minutes left. Then the Buccaneers come back and hit a game-winning field goal. So a lot of block field goals, man. Special teams. That's the thing is you can't, we'll get into it later in the show, can't overstate the importance of special teams. When two teams are evenly matched, how important that is, whether it's field position, turning into points, whether it's just opportunistic plays or turnovers or this or that. So just how it can flip so easily. So I know a lot of people don't cover it as much. It's a lot of offense and defense. Not too many people go into, you know, why a gunner is so important and keeping containment and on kickoff or punt or, out kicking coverage. And opening up more lanes for the return guy. and all these things. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good day for special teams. There's going to be some people getting demoted, nonetheless, who just let people run straight up through the middle or run over them, a la the Rams, a la the Jets, Buccaneers. But it is what it is, baby. It's the league, so. NFL was interesting today. Interesting nonetheless. I don't think I got too many other games in. Pittsburgh Steelers game against the Patriots. Just some quick hits off my head. 5 turnovers by the Patriots. You should not win a game when you do that. And they did not. 21-14 was the ultimate score, but Steelers didn't look great. They really could not engineer drives together, whether it was penalties, whether it was, I don't know. They did when it counted, but that's going to be something going forward that needs to be addressed if they want to have success, because 5 turnovers isn't going to happen again this year. I'll put my money on that. So, sights of a run game, which was good. Shout out Kenneth Gainwell. Jaylen Warren did his thing on the backstretch. Defensively, pass rush, I guess, stood out towards the end of the game. Drake May had a good game. Hunter Henry was killing this wherever he was matched up at. It was a good game all in all. I thought both teams played well. They got grit. You got Mike Tomlin and Mike Vrabel, whose teams are not going to back down from any scenario or situation, which they did a good job of fighting, both teams. Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers grinded it out, though. Aaron Rodgers coming through a fourth quarter drive. That's what he was brought in by the Steelers to do, and he did it. I think he's done it twice so far this year. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers finding Calvin Austin on the fade again. I mean, pretty crazy. He baked his man, though. He got it. It's not a big target, but made some big plays. So shout out to Calvin Austin. Shout out the team making plays when they needed to. Shout out TJ Watt, the pass rush, Cam still getting it done. Chuck Clark, bro, you need some hands, bro. I watched you drop 2 interceptions today, and one was just plain as day. So yeah, I don't know, grow some hands, man. Robert Spillane, though, for the Patriots, who used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, with a big turnover created. And then on the opposite end, Jabril Peppers, who now plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, formerly for the Patriots, got himself a fumble recovery as well. So both teams with players, swapping players and big impacts coming from them, which is always fun to see for both sides. It was just a hard-fought game, and I like Drake May still. Running backs need to help them more, otherwise I think they would have won the game. And Pittsburgh just needs to find more rhythm, man. They defensively, played well, made plays when they needed to, which was what matters to me more than anything. This ain't old school. Keep a team under 14 points. That's a mark of a great defense. I think a mark of a great defense now is making plays when it counts the most. So we've done that twice this year. So proud of just the guys for fighting, man. That was a good game. So yeah, it might be our NFL. Show. I don't know, man. Been a good past week. Daughter turned 2, so if you haven't seen too much stuff pop off, that's probably why look, before I even go any further, we are in talks to expand into a different show. Well, we'll keep this one, but maybe it'll give us the space we need in order to really attack the niche, what we really started this platform for, and that's really trying to give the right information, and then not necessarily a right or wrong perspective, but just a perspective that is really helping. You know what I'm saying? And we're truly trying to help and heal the community and talk about things like that. Really get more grassroots-ish on that front. And then maybe if we expand into this new show, who will partner with someone who the community knows as well, who's done work on a local radio show. So I think I would like to say we're working our way up. I like to think that, where we are now, I'm very appreciative of all the people who listen, of all the love we've gotten, whether it's 5 people one time, 20 people the next time, 2,000 people on a post. Or someone big saying something. I appreciate all that, for real. It can be understated. And I don't know if I get enough credence to that. So we got a lot of things going on right now. So that's why Rashad's not here. That's why, still working, and you may not see us, you may see us have less guests or this or that, but we still are working. Don't ever get that twisted. So just something to look out for. So just keep tapping in with us because we have more to give. All right, let's hurry up and backpedal. Let's get to some local stuff. You already know we're in Louisville, Kentucky, for the people who may not know what we repping and how we get down. So Louder Than Life Music Festival have been happening here September 18th through the 21st, which is today. More than 175 musical acts, 7 stages, a lot of rock, well, all rock. A lot of metal heavy hitters. So shout out to Louder Than Life, man. Shout out to all the businesses that are seeing a big boost from the music festivals weekend, restaurants, vendors that are benefiting. And shout out to the city for doing it right. Call them goth mommies. Shout out to Nikki V and all them. The golf mommies, though, that's crazy. I saw a chick. I know most of y'all saw that chick that, if you're here in Louisville, the chick who basically just had like the BDSM outfit with the tape over her nipples. Crazy work. It rained today too, so I hope she was out there enjoying herself. But nonetheless, shout out to golf mommy. Shout out to the heavy metal. Look, I know people have heard this in some form or fashion, but don't just rap because you want to rap. Get back to that shit. You feel me? Like, I know XX and a lot of people, Lil Peep and all these people, you feel me? The depression rap and shit like that. Nah, man, go back to making that, that real rock. You feel me? You fuck with that. Y'all, the world didn't change enough for y'all to understand. Y'all would have had such a huge following still. Y'all would have had black people showing up at y'all stuff, bro. Like, the world's changed. So, like, get back in y'all bag, white people. American punk rock. I need more of that. You think I don't like Paramore? You think I don't like Avril? You think I don't like freaking Blink? You think I don't like freaking... Come on, we all love that stuff, bro. Let's get back in our bags, bro. Let's get back in our bags. Anyways, also, if you're from Louisville, I don't know if you've seen the incident. Louisville police crushed a confiscated Hellcat Durango, $100,000 vehicle, just to show off. Louisville police loves to shit on people. If you ever go to their social media, they be wilding. Why don't you just use that, though? Like, can we take $100,000, like, our budget, and you just take the Durango? Like, we can cut the maintenance or whatever into it, blah, blah, blah. But, like, why are we crushing it, bro? We need money. Why can't we? That's what I'd be wondering. That's just me, So, let's get some money. We be complaining, if they want to defund whatever, shit. Let's break up the monotony. It was a little serious, so let's break up the monotony. Tweet of the week. Ricky Vice, at Ricky Vice. I pulled out a banana at work for a little snack, and my coworker looked at me and said, "Oh, it's banana time?" Then proceeded to pull out a banana of his own and tried to toast bananas with me. Man, I wanted to kill this nigga. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that with me. We'll be toasting cucumbers tomorrow. We'll be dipping them in ranch and toasting with cucumbers tomorrow. Where does the line stop? At work too, bro? Now, I feel like you can get away with it and knowing I can't do nothing about it, but I might report you to HR because stop being weird, bro. And maybe this will take me into my next one. Superman. I'm sorry, I watched it for the first time the other night. I'm not going to say that I watched part of it. I fell asleep. I at least got to the part, like an hour in. Y'all didn't tell me Superman's name on Krypton is Kal-El. Now, for the people who don't, K-A-L-E-L dash E-L. How many white people y'all know named Kal-El? Now, Kal-El is his name. And if anyone knows, Christianity well enough, the E-L suffix on the end, on the names, you'll see those a lot of times are angels. So, Superman's an angel, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go look at it, Michael, Raphael, these are some of the top angels of come on, Kal-El, Superman, a white Kal-El. Superman got a do-rag on. I'll ride a Kal-El. Nah, I was playing. I ain't gonna do that. That's gonna piss y'all off, isn't it? It's gonna piss y'all off. You're gonna be like, man, see what they doing? See what they doing to Superman? Man, freedom of speech. Make your Superman. That's the thing, though, about religion, too, before I even go off on a tangent. Whatever you think your God is in your head, I guess cool. That's what your God is. If your God's white, blue eyes, and blonde hair, that's what Jesus is to you. But don't tell me what Jesus is for me. I won't tell you what Jesus is for you. This is about to be a terrible segue. I'm throwing that rule out, and Superman is black. Kal-El. Shout out Kal-El racial. He's up for the next racial draft. Dave Chappelle, get your shit together, because if not, I'm doing one. And we are taking the remains of Mac Miller. And yes, Zach Duran, you do get Lil' Kim. Fair trade to me. All right. Anyways, on the Kal-El front, only reason I use it as a segue is because University of Louisville football, let's get into it, played Bowling Green this weekend. The Fighting Eddie Georges, the Fighting Titans. Now, I don't know what Bowling Green is, for real. I know they like some brown, orange color. But shout out to all the MAC teams, man. I love the real hard Ohio football. That's real football right there for people who don't know. Came out, fought, got their ass kicked, but that's how the game's supposed to go. Got a wide receiver named Khalil, though. He was black. Believe that? Can you believe that? A black dude named Khalil. Crazy. And he actually spelled his name just like Superman. K-A-L, Superman playing for Bowling Green. Khalil Kent out there. Bro. Yeah. But to the Louisville front, man. Louisville played a decent game. Decent to good, depending on how you look at it. I know where most people love to start out at, and I'll start out there just because you want to. This quarterback Miller Moss. 23 of 32, 316 yards passing, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. And his first 300-yard passing game at Louisville for him. You know, if you want to get into it, I'd probably have to give him a B, maybe a B+, depending, because people are like, he didn't throw any touchdowns. Well, he did throw one to my boy. I can't think of his name right now. It was disgusting. Number 3. Hold on. Dakari Collins. When he threw at one of Dakari Collins, his momentum took him out of bounds at like the 3-yard line and nobody was behind him. He should have just stopped. And don't say he couldn't. These dudes are athletic as hell. Should have just stopped. Would have gave him a touchdown. So for people who are like, he didn't throw a touchdown, that's ass. Don't say that. I mean, I know he didn't, but the importance of him throwing a touchdown and watching the game and watching how he easily could have, that's not something that worries me. He did make some and take some risky opportunities. And by his numbers, 23 of 32, he was efficient enough. You know, he threw a ball into double coverage, but he threw it to a place that only his player could get it. And he did. So it's things like that where I'm like, I see improvement. I still see small things. I think with the team overall, they just get started slow offensively. I don't know how much Miller Mouse has to do with that. I saw Jeff Brom getting into him about a legal motion call, and you should have paid attention and known. You know, Brom's hard on his quarterbacks and his leaders. I love that about him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how much of that is penalties. Just, I don't know what it is, honestly. We're just slow starters offensively, and we need to find a way to get to fix and work on that. I know they're working on that, but to fix it. So Miller Moss thought he was fine. Like I said, B, me personally. To piggyback off that, really, I was going to say this. This has been on my mind. Keywan Brown is my favorite running back this year. He does all the things, small things well. He looks lighter. He looks more explosive. I love the way he can get skinny in the hole. He can really hit it hard, pause, and then get skinny. I liked his as the game went on, it felt like he read the whole look of the defense and just the flow better. I thought he read the flow very well. As one, he kind of checked down in the gear, went from like 4th gear to 3rd gear, let the hole open, then went up to 5th gear. You know what I'm saying? So those are small things that just playing running back where I'm like, yeah, I see this. And then not only that, he's running with the hardest mindset. You can see it. And just like Petrino, Brom isn't afraid to give the hot hand, the man the hot hand. And you know, we had some people beat up, so it's not like that wouldn't have been the plan. But at the same time, you give us confidence. We got 3 running backs with Duke Watson and Isaac Brown. Really do. I like that. So I'm gonna give him 12 carries, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. I give him an A-. I really like the freshman, the backup, number 46 from Ashland, Kentucky, Braxton Jennings. He had 43 rushing yards. He's a true freshman. I liked. He's not that next step quick enough, but his feet move well. Good balance. Runs hard. I like him. I don't think he needs to be super fast. I think he just needs to be fast enough to hit the hole. I think he needs a step, a half step quicker. Not a whole step. I really like dude. So give him a B. I wasn't going to put him on here, but I'll put him on here. Chris Bell was a little banged up. I'm not going to give him a grade. Colin Lacey, wide receiver. Returner, then wide receiver. Huge all-purpose day. 268 total yards, including a 75-yard punt return touchdown, a kick return that could have gone for a touchdown, some strong receptions. He was just a great playmaker overall. He has to get an A. I don't know what's the Jet something award, the returner of the year. Oh yeah, he might be up for that. He's so good. He's really, to me, Chris Bell's R1, but in our offense, he's really going to get as many touches as R1, maybe even more, because we're going to use him in so many ways. So I'm not gonna downplay that, but it's scary to have a guy like that and then play on special teams, because you're like, I don't want that I word to pop up. But then at the end of the day, we need him there. We do. Any dude who outkicks their coverage, he is so good at pressing a lane that's not there, which creates lanes. You know, when you start heading one way, it constricts. People start coming in towards you. So it constricts, the whole flow of it does. While if you're coming from the opposite side, you all might constrict together in a slower way, just in case to keep to keep either your angle or to keep contained. If you press this way hard enough and this backside flow doesn't hold their lanes, shoom, next thing you know, you yourself pressing a gap opens a gap. He's really good at that. That's a skill. Small things. That's what people talk about. People don't talk about special teams enough. I wasn't good at that. I thought I could do whatever I wanted to back there. A little bit. I'm not going to say whatever I wanted to. I'm not going to say I wasn't good at that, but it's a skill. It's literally a skill. And you have to get reps at doing that. So give him an A. Antonio Watts, first interception of his career. Shout out to you. Sitting back in the zone. I don't know if he thought you were going to the flat or if he just didn't see you, but nonetheless, good hands. B+ for him. B+ for D'Angelo Hutchinson, his interception, first in his career as well. So both of them guys. Kickers, bro, perfect. First string, perfect. Second string, 57-yard field goal, school record. Our backup kicker, crazy. Y'all both get A's. Shout out to our kicking game. Never felt more confident in our kicking game since our Carmody. It sounds weird to say we've had some good kickers too. I'm not trying to show nobody, but y'all made me that much. Y'all showed out. Now we just need pressure situations. Oh well, and the offensive line gave up some pressure, some sacks. They had trouble in short guarded situations and third down execution. And like I said, piecing drives together. But then, like I said, third downs, we did that stupid shit that we do shotgun run. Brown got into Miller Moss on that too. I don't know if he checked out of a pass or what, but a run on short yardage from the shotgun is stupid. I'm not going to say it anymore, bro. Like, it is, I'm not going to explain it anymore. It's dumb because you're running sideways. There's no momentum. You don't have a lead blocker. It's easier to pierce those multiple gaps than it is to send one or two people just to, you know what I'm saying? And you still have an opportunity if the people outside of the A or B gap, which you're running to, opens up compared to you're shortening up your lanes because everyone's short down situations, they're all the gap integrity and the gap penetration and there's no space. It's much harder. You're asking a lot more from your lineman to me. So need to find something out about that. I give him a C+ though. Special teams overall, A-, because you muffed that return. I can't give you an A. Matter of fact, I give you A- too, Colin. A-. Defense overall, forced turnovers. Did yield some big plays late. I want to see us have depth, be more consistent, and defensively, I wish we would have seen more, but so I give them like a B-. We just need to work on third down efficiency, offensive line consistency, turnovers, muff punts. We have tougher defenses ahead. And then a big question I think Louisville fans are asking themselves is, do we just have a lower offensive ceiling than originally thought? Or with us being banged up, not being able to run the ball, just scenario-wise, just that specific scenario and the way that plays off and play action and things like that being such a big instrument in Brahms' offense, along with the vanilla play calling because we're not playing anybody. What's truer, if two things can be true? We just have a lower offensive ceiling. I'm sorry, but with all those factors, that group of information, if those group of factors altogether is plaguing the perception of the offense from the fan standpoint. I think, if I had to sway, I'm putting my confidence in Braum being an offense. He don't got a lot of people quarterback guru. I think more so he's a good offensive coach in general, full team. So I'm going to put my confidence in that. I'm going to put my evidence in that and say, we've been banged up. We haven't figured out our running game yet. Vanilla play calling, more so than lower offensive ceiling, because you definitely couldn't tell with all the injuries this past week either. And we still won by a good amount. So let me see. And penalties. Penalties hurt Louisville on several drives. So shout out to Louisville football for starting 3-0 for 3 seasons in a row. The first time that's been achieved. But yeah, we got Pittsburgh next week, so we're going to see what's up. Turn it up. And then just something to think about. Is college football turning into rap? Like, are the regional sounds going, like as the regional conferences go? Like, do we leave less of the Steve Spurriers and the more emblematic, which to a certain extent will stay because they're representatives of the state. But will it become less, like, recruiting wise, like when you're in these big conferences? Well, to compete, I need some Georgia boys at this northern school, or I need this or that. It's like northern rappers are rapping like southern rappers. You can't tell where people are from. Will teams be like that in the future, where it's just big money, commercial? Like, we try and make hits. We're not trying to keep it regional, you know. Back in the day when we used to watch a Miami team versus a Nebraska team, it was the corn-fed boys from the Midwest versus the fast speed, you know, just ridiculously fast defenses and players and athletes and this and that. Like, we're not going to get as much as that anymore. But also the players have changed. So they're more universal in their munch and things like that as well, I think. Just something to think about. We can go further down that rabbit hole, but just something to munch on pause before we jump off that. And then other NCAA football, big win, Indiana over Illinois, 63-10, my God. Who was the 9th ranked team? Who was the 19th ranked team? Only the second time in the 75-year history of those two teams playing each other that both were ranked. And Indiana did them like that. Well, Illinois should not be ranked, and Indiana should. We should be back to the same old way. Y'all try to hype us up early to give us something, but ain't no way Illinois is the 9th team in the nation. Shout out to them Hoosiers, man. I don't like y'all, but I got some athletes making some plays. I like watching good football. So Texas Tech over Utah, 34-10. I thought that game would be closer. I did think Texas Tech started out slow, so I didn't think they would put up 34, but nice road win over a good Utah squad. Oregon over Oregon State, 41-7. I knew that was going to happen. And state rival. Miami over Florida, 26-7. I knew they would beat them. It was just by how much. Miami's defense looks good, man. They look good. Offensively, you know, kind of say Miami. Good enough to get in the playoffs. Just don't lose to nobody you shouldn't, like in Syracuse. But that's the team from the ACC this year, without a doubt. It's Miami. And then Syracuse over Clemson, 34-21. I watched that game. I mean, Syracuse went up big. I mean, snow coning catches in the end zone, just momentum plays, scored a touchdown, first drive, came back, kicked the onside kick, recovered it, went down to the red zone, should have scored, kicked a field goal. We're up 10 points before Clemson even touched the ball. They got punched. They got two-piece whop right in the face before they even knew what happened to them. And then they had a rain delay, threw it all off. Game was about 5 hours long. I mean, it was crazy. But I never believed in Cade Klubnik. Since Brent Venables has been gone and he's the head coach of Oklahoma now, who was formerly defensive coordinator at Clemson, I haven't believed in their defense. Cruden hasn't really gone downhill as much as the use of not using the transfer portal by Dabo. I think that set him back. And I think it set him back far enough. The margin is much thinner. It's always been thin. You know, he has some great quarterbacks along with his partner at defensive coordinator who was holding him down. So that's my point of, you know, me not believing in that defense anymore. And then on top of that, Cade's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not, I don't know, Taj Boyd. Maybe he's Taj Boyd. Maybe. On a good day. How about that? Because I ain't even going to do Taj like that. So that's my point. It's just like Clemson's, it is what it is. And then last week, you know, Dabo said if they want me gone, if they're tired of winning, they can send me on their way. You know, I'm 55. I still got plenty in the tank. And then you lose to Syracuse. So you already played the, you know, I done built this shit card. And then this week he's saying, I'm human. I'm a man. I'm not a cyborg, you know. I'm sorry to, you know, just take excerpts. But, you know, it's my life. I've been here 23 years. I love this. You know, just fix it, Dabo. You're posh. You're being posh, just like your fan base. That's why we don't like Clemson fans, because they so posh. I respect them. I mean, I like them, though. So I really do like y'all, but you know what I'm saying. But y'all posh. Just stop being that way and just fix it. Stop being this or that or getting red in the face and pointing at everybody. Don't nobody care about that, bro. And I know because I'm listening to your fan base. So sure, Dabo, just, you know, I think you did it to yourself with the transfer portal, man. I think maybe looking back at it, maybe a little too prideful. Did nobody tell you couldn't? You know what I'm saying? You operated your stuff like the military academies. You have to get with the times, man. You're going to get left. And when you get left, you can't cry and tell everybody, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. You made that decision. Nobody made that decision. Those people at Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy, whining about they don't spend enough money. And Virginia Tech, they don't spend enough money. And this and that. You can be in positions where your boss is not supporting you in your decision making. You had the free reins. There's nobody to yell at, Dabo. Just keep it a buck. Like, I respect you, but you get real posh when things don't go your way. That's what it ultimately is. Win or lose, I don't care about that. It's when things don't go your way. Now, I can probably say that because I can spot it, because it takes one to know one. But at the end of the day, like, it's true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? It's just that. And then my clip of the day, SMU wide receiver scores a touchdown. The referee who's right in front of him calls it out. And then the wide receiver's waving his hands like, review. And the ref's asking for the ball. And he's like, boy, I ain't giving you the ball. You the one that called it out. And then throws it to another referee. So that was my clip of the day, where I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You have a little attitude. Make him part of your celebration. Shit, I need a prop in this motherfucker. Need a prop with some stripes on it. Sit in your corner then. In all seriousness, though, SMU, get your shit together. Another one. ACC, you look bad. Let's see, on the NCAA tip, AI football stadiums. Now, what do y'all think AI football stadium will look like for college football? I know y'all seen the NFL ones. I don't know what y'all's favorite ones are. They look a little crazy, but AI football stadium for U of L, would it be like a bird's nest? Kind of like the Olympic one, like a bird's nest? That'd be fire. Let me see, UK, Wildcats. I don't know what it would be. Y'all gonna have to get with me on the Wildcat one. I just know it would be Big Blue. I don't know what it'd be. Get on that one. IU, Hoosiers. I don't know. All I know is it'd be disgusting. It have those it would have like red and white columns and stuff like that. It was just sitting on top of a big hill that like oversaw, like, I don't know. It would have to be something like that, of course. Of course, it'd have to be sitting on top of a hill. Maybe carved into a mountain. Be dope. Eastern Kentucky, Colonels. Would just be like a giant KFC, like you're playing in a giant KFC restaurant almost. As the Colonel watches over you, smells of fried chicken from the lower bowl swathed around, distracting your team on the sidelines. Maybe we give you fried chicken the night before, throw your stomach off. Flu game, dope. Murray State Racers, let's have a racetrack around that mug. A race going on with the game. Fire. Literal fire. Then we can go on with other colleges, but those are just off the top of my head. I think LSU, Death Valley, it'd be like the place where Simba lost Mufasa at. The Tigers. Just be a herd of gazelle or impala, whatever the hell was coming through, stampeding. It was probably like, I don't know what it was. It was wildebeest, my bad. But you know what I'm saying. Who else would be dope, I was thinking. I feel like the Texas Tech Cowboys would be, is it the Raiders? Like the Raiders, the Cowboys, stuff like that. I feel like it'd be cold just in the desert, just straight up, just like a saloon style, just, that'd be pretty dope. So we'll have to get into that more with Rashad. More sports, WNBA basketball. Shout out to Asia Wilson. First 4-time MVP in WNBA history. I love that woman. Ain't gonna lie, she's a beast. She's a beast. Don't nobody put up numbers like her, for real. We love Caitlin Clark. We love Paige Buckers. I'm saying we because that's what everyone likes. Juju. People I really like. Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum, Kelsey Mitchell, Lissa Thomas, triple-double, record-setting triple-double to push her team to the semifinals. Man, there's a lot of people, man. So shout out to the women. Taylor Townsend was funny, speaking of women. She got in trouble for basically criticizing Chinese food while she was playing in a tournament in China. That was a little weird. You can look that up yourself. Might be it, y'all. I got one more thing. Maybe I'll do the quiz on myself, pause, but quiz for me. If you're driving down the highway and you look in your rearview mirror and you see a guy driving while his girlfriend kisses on him, yet his facial expression does not change, what do you think's going on? My answer would be she's asking for something, and he don't want to give it up. Money, time, favor, because if his face doesn't change, then you already know. If the Salem witch trials were really about the inheritance of land ownership by women at the time, should the youth of today be worried about their inheritance from baby boomers? I say yes. Are you a shirt, no pants, or pants, no shirt? I'm definitely pants, no shirt in the South. Is it sexist Lola Bunny had to have clothes on while all the male characters ran around half or fully naked in Space Jam? Of course it is. But then a larger conversation to go around that is why she was dressed kind of skimpyish, which then programs are women from early age. Never mind. All right. Whose name is bigger? Shea Gilgis or Michael Beasley? Sounds ridiculous, but where I'm from, Michael Beasley. Is the Church of AI Jesus scary as it is, or scary to you as it is to me? Of course it is, bro. AI Jesus is crazy, bro. That's Operation Bluebeam. Look that up. And then lastly, is Dabo turning into Calipari at the tail end? No pun intended. Of his UK coaching tenure? Of course he is. Of course he is. Of course he is. And that's it. Hey, thanks for if you stayed this long, I appreciate you. I did a lot of talking. I've never done this before. So, with myself. Pause. But no, seriously, thank you for tapping in with us. Like I said, we have more to come. We have more. We're expanding. Be on the lookout for just more fun, more shows, more people to connect with. We're going to try to do this bigger and better than this one. It's going to be different, y'all. It's just going to be different. So if that isn't a reason to tap in with us more and more, please do tap. We appreciate the love. Go follow us at the iCast. Please comment, leave something like I said, if you're just listening, just it can be an improvement. Hey, bro, maybe do this. Maybe, you feel me? Maybe it's a question. Maybe you want to jump on for just a quick something. Maybe we'll do the quizzes. Maybe you want to be part of the quiz. We love the interactions with people. It's a big thing. So interact with us, bro. Interact with us, ladies. But nonetheless, appreciate y'all. We'll be back with another one soon. Peace out.